This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
The following episode of Charlotte Cooks is brought to you by Central Piedmont Community College and viewers like you. Thank you.
Coming up on Charlotte Cooks, do you know what this is? Stay tuned and find out. It's delicious. Hi there, and welcome to this edition of Charlotte Cooks. Today we're going to make one of probably your favorite meals that you order at an Italian restaurant, and I hope you're surprised at how easy it really is to make at home. We are going to make chicken piccata. I'm also going to show you how to make a really simple and easy fresh garlic bread, and I have a surprise to show you about a wonderful spicy little thing you could add to your salads to add so much wonderful visual interest, but you got to stay tuned to the end to see what that is. So what we're going to start off with, some chicken breasts. What I'm going to show you is a really nice way of being able to extend these chicken breasts to feed quite a few people. You don't necessarily have to figure on having one chicken breast per person, but what we are going to do is we're going to take each of these chicken breasts. Now these have been beautifully cleaned by the butcher, but you always want to look at them and check them and make sure that there aren't any extra little bones on the side, or what we're going to look for next is a little bit of cartilage, and usually that cartilage is right around in this area right here, but that's not so bad, so I'm just going to leave it right there. So what I want to do with this is I want to take this and cut this into really nice thin pieces, and I'm going to actually take these and pound these out so each of these little pieces, they just get a little bit bigger, okay? So this is really quite easy to do. I'm cutting it on a slight angle so I can get a little wider piece of meat. And at the end, I'm going to take these, I'm going to pound these out so that we all have an even thickness. And a really easy way of pounding it out, guys, I'm going to show you real quick here. Simply take a Ziploc bag, and I've got chicken hands, so it's going to be a chicken bag. I'm going to go wash my hands and I'm all done with this. You take your pieces and you put them inside the bag. And you notice I haven't seasoned them or anything yet. That is coming after I pound them. This is a really nice way of getting your chicken to be a nice even size. And if you're breading it to do like a Parmesan or even chicken fingers, it's a really nice way of getting what we call a paillard of chicken, which is a nice flat even piece of chicken. Now on my meat mallet I've got two sides. I've got a rough side that is kind of like a waffle shape and a flat side. I'm going to use the flat side. I don't need to break this meat up, and that's what this part is for. But this meat, it's chicken breast, it's tender. So all we want to do is just take it and lightly pound it. Now you notice I'm not getting in here, I'm not wailing in here, because if I did that, these poor little chickens would turn into mush and they would all fall apart. All I'm doing is lightly tapping it, and you can see how it evens out. And it gets all nice and flat. There, just like that, okay? So now our chicken is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the bag, and I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, because this is a chicken piccata dish, if you wanted to put some, they sell that crystallized lemon now. You could put a little bit of that in your seasoning as well. But we're going to have plenty of lemon and lemon juice in our sauce, and we're going to have plenty of lemon flavor. But if you wanted to do that, I just wanted to give you a little bug in your ear that's definitely something that you can do. Let me go wash my hands and I'll come right back. I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of salt. I'm going to sprinkle some fresh pepper over it, and then I'm going to give it a saute. But before I give it a saute, remember, I'm trying to get a meal on the table. And one of the things that people have a problem with at home when they're trying to plan an entire meal at the same time is timing everything so it comes out at the same time. So I want to cook my pasta, and this dish is going to be served over spaghetti. So I have a pot of water here, and it's already at a boil. So before I start my sauce, the pasta is only going to take about 10 minutes to cook. That's plenty of time to get all this going here. I'm going to heat up my sauté pan. Now, when you're doing your sauté pans, if you've watched my show before, we have always taught you about how to know when your pan is ready for your food. What we're going to do is make sure that you won't put your hand on the bottom of that pot. See, I can touch that now, and I'm not really saying that's hot. But there's going to be a point where I go, whoa, I won't touch that, because it is going to be too hot, and that's when your pan is ready. All right, I'm almost ready to start doing my chicken. Remember, I already put salt on there. I'm putting a little bit of fresh black pepper on here. Just a little bit, not much. So, pan is getting hot, my water's at a boil. And guys, when you're boiling water at home, if you put a cover on your pot, it makes your pot boil faster. Got a pot of boiling water, lots of water. You don't want to skimp on your water here. Lots of water, because what you want to do when that water boils, you want to put a little salt in it. And why do we put salt in it after the water boils? We put salt in it after the water boils because if you don't, what happens is the salt sits in the bottom of the pan and it eats little holes in the bottom of your wonderful cookware. So I'm going to cook enough pasta for about 2 people. My hands are clenched together. That's about enough for 2 people. Is it an accurate measurement? No. You might have large hands, you might have small hands, but usually about 1 inch in diameter, 1.5 inches in diameter is all you need for about 2 people of pasta. Your water's at a nice high boil. As soon as you put your pasta in, you want to use your tongs, a fork, a spoon, one of those little forky pasta servers, something, but you'll want to stir it up. You want to keep stirring your pasta water until the water comes back to a boil. When you put your pasta in, you're going to notice that the boiling stops. And that's just because the temperature of the water had dropped. And so put your pasta in, let it come back to a boil, give it a stir. And the reason you're stirring it is to keep the pasta from sticking together. Have you ever cooked pasta and you drained it and then you got to peel it apart? And that's because it didn't get stirred while it was coming back to a boil, and the flour in the pasta actually got moist and the pieces stuck together. And so by stirring it, you keep the pieces separated, and that flour in the pasta starts to cook separately on its own. All right, 10 minutes. I got to get back over here because now I am rocking and rolling here. All right, this is hot. I can smell that it's hot. And I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. And another thing you could tell your pan is hot enough, you can see that the oil just shimmers across the bottom of the pan. All right, I'm going to take my seasoned meat and I'm going to, that's what you want to hear, folks. If you don't hear that when you put your food in the pan is not hot enough. Let's go wash my hands again. All right, while the pasta is cooking, make sure you stir it every now and then. Don't let it just sit there, guys. Stir it to make sure that it's not going to stick together. You're going to come back over here. We're going to let this cook, and we are looking for a nice golden brown on the bottom of the chicken. And how do you tell? You lift it up and give it a look-see. And it's not quite ready yet, so I'm just going to let it sit there. Make sure your heat is about medium-high, and we're going to let this sit here and get beautifully caramelized. Once we flip this over, we're going to be able to take it and add our lemon and our capers, some lemon juice, and some chicken stock. And I've got my chicken stock all nice and hot here, all ready to go. Do you have to heat it up? No, because it's going to get hot in the pan, okay? When you're cooking chicken this thin, something you can look for, instead of just moving it around a lot, which is what a lot of people do when they're trying to cook something quick, they move it around a lot. And what happens when you move it around a lot, you don't get that lovely, beautiful color that's happening. And so we're going to just basically, when you're trying to see the color, just lift up an edge and just don't move it around. Just lift it up and you could tell. You could also look at your chicken and you could see the white edges happening. And so when you flip this chicken's pretty much going to be cooked after about another minute or 2 on the other side. You can see that it's cooking all the way through, and that's one of the benefits of doing chicken this way. I'm going to go ahead and start flipping them. You can see that gorgeous golden brown color. Look at that. Oh, yummy. And that only happens when you have a hot pan. There we go. All right, at this point, I'm going to take my chicken and it's going to be cooked on the other side. Now I'm ready to make my sauce. I'm going to add some lemon juice. I'm going to let that boil up. And what it's going to do is, this is called the deglazing process. This is going to start removing all those lovely little brown bits that are on the bottom of the pan. Once this comes to a nice, lovely boil, we're going to take some more chicken stock, add some chicken stock to this. I'll let this simmer. A little more chicken stock. And now, I'm going to take some sliced lemons. Add some sliced lemons, and you could put these on top of the chicken pieces, or you could put this down in the actual sauce itself, because we're going to stir this up in just a little bit. I'm going to save a couple of those for the garnish on the top. Okay, so now I'm just going to let that simmer, and we're going to come over here and we're going to test our pasta. And how do you test pasta to see if pasta's done? Pick up a piece. No, I'm not going to throw it against the wall. Some people do that. I tried that when I was in college. Oh, pasta's done. We used to take it, we used to swirl it like this and let it go against the wall. That's not the way to tell if pasta's done. This is the way. It's still got a little bit of a bite to it, so it's got a couple more minutes. Look at how different it looks right now. This is done. I'm just going to strain it. So I'm going to grab my towels. I'm going to run to the sink, pour this in a colander, cool it down, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we are. Our pasta is all, I rinsed it because I want to cool it down a little bit, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil to this. Now you can use an olive oil, a really nice flavored olive oil. I like using a grapeseed oil because it's very neutral in flavor. And the reason we add a little bit of olive oil or oil to it is to keep the pasta from sticking to itself now. So now this can sit until we are ready for it. We're going to finish up our sauce, okay? And while we're waiting for this to actually, it's simmering a little bit, I wanted to show you how to make that garlic bread, okay? So for garlic bread, all you need to do is grab a couple of pieces of bread and get them toasted, all right? Dry toast. Nothing on it, no butter, no oil, nothing, just a piece of dry toast. You're going to take a piece of garlic, a raw piece of garlic, and you're going to rub it over the surface of this dry toast, okay? And that will leave enough of an extraordinary garlic flavor on this bread. And it's going to be delicious. I can smell it. Can you smell that? It's so good. No vampires here tonight. And that's, look at that. See, it's just pushing all that lovely raw garlic onto this bread. And it's not enough where you bite into it where you go, whoa, garlic. It's enough where you go, well, that's a lovely garlic bread. And so it's very simple. There's very little fat, obviously, in this because there is no butter or oil involved. All right, let's go back to finish our sauce. So what we're going to do here now, our sauce is just a little bit on the liquidy side. So what I want to do is I want to make what we call a slurry. And we got a little bit of dry cornstarch in here. We're going to add a little bit of water, just enough to loosen this up. Make like a very, very thin paste. A very thin paste, okay? Now we're going to set this aside. And to finish our sauce here, we're going to do two things. We're going to add a little bit of butter. And see, this is the kind of paste you want right here. So when you set this aside, you're going to have to stir this again because cornstarch has a tendency to settle as it sits. I'm going to take a little bit of whole butter to finish my sauce with. A little bit of whole butter here. Drop that in there. I'm going to whisk that in. Come on, guys, just get up here for now. We're working on the sauce. Okay, just whisk it in until it's all melted. And why do we add butter? Could you leave the butter out? Yeah, but you know what? You know, I love butter. Butter adds a beautiful richness to the sauce because you have the sharpness from the lemon juice, remember? And so adding the richness from the butter helps smooth that out so it's not quite so sharp, okay? So now I've got that butter whisked in. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cornstarch and I'm going to loosen it up a little bit because even that few seconds you can feel that it's starting to actually thicken up. And I'm going to whisk this in and do a little bit at a time because suddenly it'll be as thick as you need it to be, or it'll be really thick and you need to add more liquid, or it'll be thin and you need to add more cornstarch. But I think that is just fine. We just want it to be thick enough to where it's going to cling to the noodles and not just totally run off of the meat. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick little plate up. So we have our noodles. I'm going to show you a little quick little trick. I'm going to move this out of the way so we could see what we're doing. Hold on. There's our excess stock. Here's our piccata. Now, I'm going to take our pasta, and instead of just taking our pasta and taking a tong and putting it on the plate, comme ça, like this, we're going to do something a little better than that, okay? We take our tong, I call it a tuning fork, but it's really a carving fork. And we're going to take this and we are going to twist our noodles into a beautiful, beautiful shape and put it on there, nice and long. I'm going to do another one down here. You can do this in the pot if you wanted to. Just twist it up so you get nice, nice, nice little compact center of pasta going down the middle of your plate. Okay? So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our chicken pieces. We're going to line them up along the top, right over the top of this. And we're going to take a little bit of sauce, spoon the sauce over the top, like this. So you've got sauce coming over your pasta, you've got sauce on your chicken, you got a little bit of sauce on your plate. And then grab this lemon. This is the lemon I cut my slices off of earlier. We're going to make some quick little garnishes out of this. We're going to take a couple of thin lemon slices. We're going to cut them in half like this. Just cut that little piece, that little wheel. I'm going to twist it, put it on top. Do another one like that. Okay? And then what we're going to do is take some capers. Now you can put your capers in your sauce. Heat them up a little bit if you want. Sprinkle some capers over the top of this. Ooh, yummy. That looks awesome, doesn't it? We're going to take a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Put some Parmesan cheese on top. There we go. You can always put more on the table. Myself, I'd take this bowl and put it on there. But presentation-wise, you can always do that at the table when you're ready to eat. But presentation-wise, make it look pretty. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit more of something to this dish, I have some grilled artichoke hearts here. You could put some grilled artichokes on here and really make this dish sing. And you have to be careful about the wine you serve with it, though, if you're doing artichokes with a nice wine, because it has a tendency to make the wine taste sweeter. So just be careful about artichokes in your wine pairing. And there we go. So that is our chicken piccata. And I'm going to take our garlic bread. I'm going to cut it into some fingers here. Put a couple pieces of garlic bread on here. And there we go. We have got chicken piccata. Oh, we have to do that salad. Let me show you that salad. Here's chicken piccata. For that salad, we've got a beautiful little side salad here. Remember in the beginning I teased you with this vegetable? Maybe you didn't know it was a vegetable. But this is what we call a watermelon radish. They're green on the outside, really funky looking on the outside, but all you have to do is take it and peel it around the outside. Now, when I use these at home, I just slice the whole thing up. I can eat these things like potato chips. I love this radish. They're spicy, just like radishes are, but this one has got some beautiful color to it. You want to either take a knife or what we call a Japanese mandolin and just run some nice thin slices. The thing with this radish, guys, is this needs to be really, really, really thin in order for it to really be effective. Because when they're thick, they get a little bit on the tough side. A little bit of oil and vinegar on this salad, and looky there. I think it's really important for us to have some fresh vegetables with a meal. And so with our chicken piccata, having the salad on the side is absolutely a perfect accompaniment. So, and I add a little watermelon radish to it. It's a fun little pop of excitement, adds a little bit of spice, adds a whole lot of color, and I betcha your friends and family haven't seen it before. Now that you've seen how to make a very simple chicken piccata dish, I want to add a couple of extra things to it just so you have some versatility. Because if you wanted to make this dish more than once, why not add some other things to it so you have a nice variety? So you saw how when I plated up that you could add the artichoke hearts to it to add another little flavor element, which is really great. But also you can add some sun-dried tomatoes to the dish. And sun-dried tomatoes, you can find them in nice bright red, you can find them packed in oil, you can find them actually just dried up. These are actually just dried, that's why they're so dark, but they still pack a lot of that wonderful sun-dried tomato flavor. And all you would do with these is just add them to your sauce. I would add them earlier on, like before you added your cornstarch to it, and that way they'll have a chance to totally rehydrate in the sauce. And don't forget your capers. Now, when you go to the store to buy capers, there's going to be a couple of different things on the shelf, and I don't want you to get confused as to which ones to buy. You will find things, and primarily when you see these big capers, sometimes capers can get really large. These are actually called caper berries, and they're very big, and they're wonderful, and they have a great flavor to them. If you want these large caper berries, you'd have to, sometimes the grocery stores will be selling them in their cocktail section where they have the drink mixers and all their bar supplies. And sometimes you find them in the pickle aisle right next to the smaller capers. And the smaller capers, they're usually called nonpareils because that in French that kind of means there's no parallel to them. They're exceptional, and that's what makes them beautiful and tiny and very sharp and very piquant. So when you add these to your dish, just sprinkle them in lightly, and if you're not sure what they taste like, pop one in your mouth and taste it. They're very sharp and very salty. I love them. Now, I want to show you what the inside of one of these caper berries look like. The insides, usually if you're using them, the way you're going to find them most popular is in a cocktail, and they would probably drop this right into the cocktail. I would be a little careful about popping this into your mouth the whole way because it is really strong in flavor. This is what it looks like when you open it up. You can open it up this way and you have all these beautiful seeds inside, or you can open up this way. I really want you to get a look at, see both of the cross hatches and see how they look on both ends. See, there they go. But they're very strong in flavor. This, you would not cut it and slice it and put it in your dish because you can see it's really not very pretty. But if you're going to use these caper berries, you want to use them whole. You would throw them right into your dish, or that's to heat them up all the way through, or you can take them and just garnish the top of your dish with them by taking them and putting them right on top. Either way, you get that beautiful, salty, wonderful umami caper flavor in your dish. So don't forget, you can add things to this sauce. Sun-dried tomatoes, artichokes, caper berries, just to make it a little bit more interesting than just chicken piccata. So check out our chicken piccata, a very simple recipe. Add your capers at the end, add some grilled artichokes at the end, or you can leave them out. Of course, if you add the artichokes, it changes the dish. It's not a chicken piccata anymore, but nonetheless, it's still delicious. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Charlotte Cooks. You can grab our recipes on our website at pbscharlotte.org. And if you'd like to send me an email, my email is Pamela, P-A-M-E-L-A .Roberts, R-O-B-E-R-T-S, at cpcc.edu. Thank you for watching this episode of Charlotte Cooks, and we'll catch you again next time.
A production of PBS Charlotte.